you're mud bogging, working the fields, or just cruising, the Tire Lady has just the right tire for you. And if you want your ride to really stand out, ask about tire and wheel combinations. Get the most out of your vehicle with the perfect set of shoes from the Tire Lady at Rainbow Tire, and the Tire Lady will take care of you.
Rainbow Tire, the Tire Lady takes care of me. Rainbow Tire, the Tire Lady takes care.
From a simple switch, troubleshooting a problem, a new service, to that backup generator that you'll need in times of emergency, Blake Electric can handle all your electrical needs. They have the experience and knowledge to do it professionally and safely and do the job right the first time.
It's wild, it's wonderful, it's home. From the peaceful sights to the adventurous rivers, we want to protect our great state. But most importantly, we want to protect our people. When someone from our community gets injured in an accident, big insurance companies out of state look at you as a number. At Cranston and Edwards, we fight for you, getting you the settlement you deserve. Cranston and Edwards, we protect you.
Good evening, everyone. We are going to go ahead and call to order the North Central Caucus on Roads meeting. Today is April 25th, and it is a little past our start time, but we're going to go ahead and get started. I would ask that you please silence your cell phones so we don't have that interruption during the meeting time. And I do appreciate each and every one of you for coming out tonight. I hope you didn't have too much trouble finding us down here. This is a beautiful facility. It's not the easiest to get to, but we do like it here. So, moving on. First of all, what I would like to do to open up is I would like to say a little prayer. So if you would please bow your head, I would appreciate it. Dear Heavenly Father, first of all, I want to thank you for all that you do. Secondly, I'm just going to make this short and sweet. Please watch over us as we try to do the absolute best we can by the people in our counties. Heavenly Father, it is so important that you guide every step that we take. I ask that you be with all of our elected officials, from our county commissioners clear to the governor of West Virginia, and help us to make good decisions for our counties and for this entire state. Heavenly Father, as we travel to try to do justice on the roads in West Virginia, I ask that you place a hedge of protection around each and every one of us. I also ask that every single day you place a hedge of protection around all of the citizens in the state of West Virginia. We do not need any casualties due to the lack of road maintenance. It is in your precious name that we are so grateful and thankful. Amen. All right, with that being said, my name is Samantha Stone, and I am the co-chair of the District 4 Roads Caucus. My co-chair is Tom Bloom. He's the Monongalia County Commissioner. And we have had a need, I think, to get together. The last time we were together was January 3rd, and there's been a lot of things happening since January 3rd. And we're going to recap that here in a minute. But first of all, I do want to welcome each and every one of you, and I also would like to start by, we do have some just general public here, so if you are a commissioner, a delegate, or a senator, I would like you just to stand up, say your name and who you represent. We'll start over here with Don.
I'm Don Smith. I'm County Commissioner of Preston County.
Ed Hawkins, Monongalia County Commissioner.
Tom Blue, Monongalia County Commissioner.
Dave Rice, Preston County Commissioner. Corporal Ryan Taylor, County Commissioner.
Evan Hanson, delegate from
Danielle Walker, District 51, Monongalia County Delegate.
Buck Jennings, delegate for Preston County, Crawford County.
Randy Smith, Senator from the 14th District.
Amy Summers, delegate from 49th District, Taylor County, Mostly.
Carrie Waxman, delegate from District 48, which is mostly Harrison, and one little precinct in Taylor.
Sean Stewart, Commissioner, Monongalia County.
John Williams, delegate, Monongalia County.
Dave Seifel, Senator, 14th District.
Terry Summerall, delegate for Preston County, the 2nd District.
And then I do know we have some folks here from the public, and I do just want to, again, thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your schedules. I know you're all crazy busy to come here tonight. Tom and I have been meeting regularly throughout the last couple of months, discussing some things, trying to put together when the best time was to have this meeting again. We had it originally scheduled early in April, but after we knew that they were coming from the state to meet with us, our individual counties, we felt it'd be best that we just hold off and see where we were at with that. So with it being the 25th of April, the good news of the day is the spring is here. So there are repairs going on in the counties and across the state, and for that I'm very thankful. So with that, we're going to get started with our old business. So Tom, if you would come up and recap the January 3rd meeting.
Thank you. We'll take very little time because it's not where we were, but it's where we're going is the important stuff tonight. On the 3rd, we met at the Courtyard Marion. And I think everyone's going to be surprised how much we actually accomplished with the work of everyone together. We had 8 actual goals at that meeting. The first was we discussed the information given to us that we were $35 million in need to catch up on annual maintenance. So we actually had for the first time some financial information. We then also learned that there was also 250 slips in our district, but only received $1.9 million budgeted for our district. We discussed having a public hearing, and I personally want to thank Delegate Amy Summers, who was able to set up on the 2nd day of the legislative session. So we really thought we had a lot of movement going on, and we were all working together. Then one of our goals was to work with the county commissioners, with the delegates and the senators to come up with several legislative bills. And again, we showed West Virginia what bipartisan approach can be. Delegate Amy Summers, Delegate John Williams, Senator Amy Smith, Delegate Barbara Fleischer, all came up with bills, and we're thrilled that they passed the House and the Senate with large numbers. Unfortunately, we will discuss later that they were vetoed. We did request, and Samantha Stone set up a meeting with the governor to voice our concerns, and I can say that she was the one fortunate individual who had the individuals with DOH come up, and we're working on some of her roads, which was a great input for the rest of us so they could see what was going on in all of our counties. We tried to set up with appointments with the DOH, which did happen. I mean, this is all in 3.5 months when basically no one was talking about it. And finally, we came up with considered options to increase productivity of getting our roads fixed, which was let's look at contracting now and moving forward. So that's what got us to today.
Thank you, Tom. With that being said, is there a Marion County Commissioner that would just like to give an update on things that are buzzing in Marion County with the DOH? Yes, please.
Yeah, we actually had the Department of Highways at our regular meeting yesterday, and we're very pleased. They gave us a list of what roads are working on now, that are going to be done, their schedule, what they need to get done by June 30th, and we're real happy to see them and have some good input into the results.
Harrison County? Is there anybody from Harrison County?
I'm from Harrison County, but needs to be done, and they're actively working on it.
Doddridge County could not attend this evening. The governor was actually going to be in Doddridge County, and so they felt they needed to stay. But on behalf of Doddridge County, she did send me a message, and I will relay that as they are very interested in working with the caucus to help the efforts in Doddridge County as well. From Doddridge County, the ditching on county roads with culvert replacement and spot patching is taking place. Route 18 is still in dire need of repair and almost to the point of not being drivable. Route 23 and Flint are both being paved. Meeting at Clarksburg DOH helped to identify issues and areas of concern. Identified issue of the pay disparity between the DOH and oil and gas companies as a major contributor to lack of employees in our district. Workers can go to private companies for double the pay of what the DOH is paying. So that's what she really wanted to make sure that we talked about a little bit tonight, which we will. And that was a report from Randy Britton, who is the administrator in Doddridge County. The report on Preston County, as everyone is aware, Preston County, we were very fortunate that the governor decided to send people up this way. I had really hoped that it was the start of things that were going to blossom all over the county, all over all of your counties, and all over the state of West Virginia. Spring is here. It's a time when general maintenance starts to happen. And I know in each of your counties throughout the years you have seen a lot of maintenance happen, but it's just never been the type of maintenance that needed to happen. There wasn't enough of it. There wasn't enough money. There wasn't enough workers to complete if there was enough money. But here in Preston County, for the past month, we have had a lot of ditching going on. They've replaced some culverts. There haven't really been, truly in Preston County, we can have 4 seasons in 1 week. And the first several weeks that the workers were here from all over, that's what they got. One day the sun was shining and it was 76 degrees, and the next day it was snowing. And, road maintenance when weather conditions are like that are not really anything that you can really work in and get to the root of the problem, as you can't patch potholes when they're wet, as we all know. But with that being said, there have been a lot of road miles ditched in Preston County. We have 1,247 road miles. And so, to say we got a shot in the arm, I would say yes. But we have so many issues on back roads, secondary roads in this county, that it's gonna take a lot. And they did have a job fair. The job fair was actually held here, and I know that they had interviewed 34 people, and I think they might have hired 10. But with everything, that is a numbers game. So 34 interview, they hired 10, 2 might show up. So that's one thing that I would really like to look at moving forward with our senators and our delegates, is that we've got to take a look at the hiring process. It really takes too long. In construction work, if you're familiar with it at all, or truck driving where you have a CDL license, those drivers tend to bounce around to different jobs often. If someone weighs a little bit more money, people are typically apt to go after that. And so, that's where we really struggle, I believe, in the Preston County DOH and these other DOHs in our district, is we just can't compete with the wages. So I'm hopeful with the people that they did hire that will help. I do know that they have phased out all those workers that are here, that were here. The only ones that I believe that are still here are ones that can drive it. They're no longer staying here anymore. And so we were told originally, I believe, 3.5 months they were going to be here. That just didn't. Once everything changed, and Bird White and Jimmy Riston started actively working with the governor, things started to change. For whatever reason, I don't know. I try to stay in my lane and just, see what we need to get accomplished here on the ground. So as far as that goes, one thing in Preston County that I have noticed is I would really, really like for the state officials to take into consideration the roads that are being done. I know that there is a lot of small jobs that are being done that were 2018 jobs. I know that the funding was in 18. I know that there are very half-mile stretches that are being paved that are not truly roads that make a lot of sense when you are in a state of emergency. So as far as that goes, that's something that I would like to work with the DOH to see if maybe they would take some input from our local representatives, because I mean we are getting the calls on the ground here, and maybe we could just have a little bit of input as to the rhyme and reason as to what they're doing. So with that being said, I would like someone from Taylor County, and then we'll wrap up with an update from Monongalia County. If there is a representative from Taylor County.
For me, come here to speak here.
Come on up.
I have a big mouth.
That's all right. We can hear you better.
Following our meeting earlier this month, Delegate Summers and I met with Mr. Corio, who's in charge of DOH at Taylor County. And he did, in fact, give us a list of the proposed maintenance projects. And I'm happy to say that many of those to this point have been addressed, and we're hopeful that they will continue to be so. And I'm sure Delegate Summers and I will continue to meet with Mr. Corio and we discuss as we will ours as well.
Sean?
I was going to say it.
Okay.
You don't want to hear me.
In the county right now, what we have are a number of ongoing projects. One of them is the continuation of 79 to the 155 exit. That is a project that was started last year. That's the majority of the projects that are ongoing right now. They are projects that were last year's projects and will be completed. The 2019, the first 7 have not been let to contract. In other words, that they gave us the list to be done. So we're optimistic that these will be let to contract. The bridge at Pierpont Interchange is currently under renovation. Concrete is falling under some passerbys. So that is, it's torn up in the middle. I live right there, so I do get to see the progress on that, and it is ongoing. What we also have is a hope in that we signed a letter that was sent to the governor to address a situation that we have with Chapel Hill Road. Chapel Hill Road, many of you may or may not know, is the main route for all of our school buses have to go to the school bus garage on this road. It's also the road that will service the aquatic center and the track that is now already open. The track has already attracted some 15 to 20,000 people in the short time it's been open. This also is the road to Milan Park. A new extension center is being created there for 4-H extension. So we felt that if we could get an upgrade on this road, because the road won't be complete through the development until probably 2.5 years from now. So we are putting funding aside with an agreement and hope signed by the Board of Education, as well as those members of the business community and Milan Park, that we would like to see this done. So if funds can be released by the governor to match and hope with the $150,000 that the county commission is going to be put on, we feel the problem can be addressed and made tenable. This is also where all the Big 12 right now, if you don't know, the Big 12 golf tournament is in the state of West Virginia at the Greenbrier. So the swimming tournament is coming up next year, and it will be and has to address on this road. So we'd like to make a good entrance for them in the time that we have. And the last is hopefully the redesign of exit 155, that's the Star City, which is a complete disaster, as well as a reworking of some of the 153 exit is now being, we're hoping to get something on it by June of the planning. So that's 705 is to be addressed. They haven't started yet, have they? No. I didn't say, I drove 705 to go to Gucci Kroger today, so I didn't see anything. there's 35,000 cars a day on 705. So beware when you're coming to town, at least look out.
Hey, Ed, I got a question. Did DOH tell me why they haven't bid these jobs out yet when it's almost May? Like, why aren't these things bid out, ready to go now?
They did not give an answer to that. I just let you know that they did. Sorry.
Thank you.
All right, so I think we got a little bit of information from each county in District 4. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to move on to a recap of the meetings that were held. 3 counties were held in Bridgeport, and 3 counties were held here in Preston County with the DOH officials. At that meeting, there was everybody from Jimmy Riston to Darby Clayton. You had several engineers. You had the people that are, on the ground working every day. You had your supervisors that are over the individual counties as well. In Preston County, that's Blaine Bomar. So all of those individuals were at that meeting also. One thing that, if we get the opportunity to meet with them like that again, I think to follow suit with what Orville and Amy were doing, I think it is a very good thing to sit down with your person in charge of your local DOH and go over those projects and understand what they're doing. I really think that a lot of our frustrations come from, through the years, the lack of communication that they have had with us. And you guys know, especially the commissioners, you know we can't fix the roads, but it is our job to help the people in this county, in your counties, to help their voices be heard of the issues when they're not getting anywhere, when they're themselves. So with that recap of that meeting, they did go over, they had maps of things that had been completed. They talked a little bit about projects that were coming up. One thing I know is a huge frustration of our caucus is that we never truly get a straightforward answer as to where we are going to get our funds from moving forward. We know that this formula that they talk about in District 4 just isn't enough money. I know in Preston County, we use it up very quickly when it comes to snow and ice removal. By the time we get through winter, we have no funds left to fix the roads from winter. So, 20 years worth of that adds up quickly. And I'm sure it's the same story in a lot of your counties. But in that meeting, they did talk a lot about getting back to the grassroots way of fixing the roads. And I will tell you that just being out and observing the different pods of workers that were here initially from all over the state, they all did a great job. But I will tell you, some districts, I feel, did a better job than other districts. But anything is better than nothing. They were working, they did get some things accomplished. And, across the board, I would like to see, in my short tenure as a commissioner, the meetings that I was at in Charleston, every time the governor came and spoke, he always went back to a story about training our workforce. And I heard him when he said that. He said he was standing outside of a mine or someplace along the road, maybe with his son, and he talked about the car with a man and his family that drove up to them. The man got out of the car and he wanted a job. What's your experience? And it was kind of like, well, I don't have any. Well, if you don't have experience, how do you get experience if someone doesn't give you the chance? And I feel that, with looking over, I've asked a lot of questions, with our Kingwood, with our municipality, our city workers. We start a city worker out in Kingwood with a CDL at $14 an hour. That's a couple dollars more with a retirement package and a benefits package than what you can get working at the DOH. So again, it's kind of like a full circle thing. You can't get experience if someone doesn't give you the opportunity, and we do need to focus, I think, more. It would be there's a lot of summer opportunities for kids maybe going to college to work with the DOH and different things. And so I really think that listening at that meeting and understanding, a little bit more about what's going on in each of these counties and talking, a lot with these individuals, that we've really got to make a move, and we've got to count on our delegates and our senators to get that done in Charleston, because that's not something that we can do here. We can't do that on our level. But we'll talk a little bit more about that here shortly. The next thing I wanted to discuss with everyone, and you might have heard it, you might not have heard it, is Darby Clayton came to our county commission meeting along with Beverly Elder, and they presented the SWAT program. Is everybody familiar with the SWAT program? So I have some people saying no, so I'll just go over it briefly. And just for giggles today, I jumped on the online and went to the DOH, Division of Transportation site, and it's pretty simple to file a complaint. And I can send complaints left and right. I can send emails to everybody in my list about what needs to be addressed and the issues that are going on. But knowing how busy these local guys are, and Darby Clayton is, he can't effectively get to those emails every single day. So Beverly Elder, it is her job to take all of that, the concerns that come in from the constituents. And what does SWAT mean? SWAT means safety with action today. So with that being said, this is a program that Governor Justice has put into place for all the counties and districts for the Division of Highways in the state of West Virginia. It's designed to get answers to citizens in a timely manner on concerns that they have with road conditions in their area. The website that you can go to is wv.roads@wv.gov, and you can fill out your SWAT form right online. And so that goes to Beverly. She monitors how dangerous, or if it's something that needs attention right now, she gets it to the right people. So I do want to encourage people to utilize that. We'll still continue our efforts at the county level in reporting those problems, but I think if you continually go on with your issues and get them out there, that's what they need to see. So once the SWAT form is completed, the forms download into the database for the SWAT operators in Charleston to send out to the individual districts. And at the district level, Beverly takes care of maintaining the database for all 6 counties, Doddridge, Harrison, Marion, Taylor, Mon, and Preston. And the concerns that go to her, she logs all of that. So if you've logged and a month or 2 months go by and you haven't heard anything, they've got the log that you had. And I think you should be able to get something accomplished. She sends it out, and when they get to 7 business days, they try their best to get a response back to the citizens within 7 business days. So whether or not this program is effective will be, I think, contingent upon if people really use it. So I would encourage you to try to do your part and to use that. And I will have our IT person upload this to our Facebook page, and Mon County can do the same. I know if you guys want to do that, we can make a copy available if you don't have it. But you might want to mention at your local meetings, this is where they need to be sending that information. So let's see. Any more discussion with the recap for the meetings that we just had here on the 11th and 12th? Amy?
First of all, on the SWAT program, if we get any complaints from our constituents, or if you do, that's really where you need to file them instead of sending emails, because that's how they get in the queue and that's how they're tracked. If you send emails to people, it's ineffective. This is the best way to do that. They've had a site in the past where you went to DOT and filled that out, so it's nothing new.
I submitted one the other day, and they responded back to me within like 2 hours.
Wow, that's fantastic. Okay, and the second thing
thank
is...
you to the newspapers, actually, the Dominion Post and the Preston News, for putting the website into work.
And the public can start doing that, and then they don't have to reach out to us, but I'll do it for them, but they can do it as well. And the other thing is, after our last meeting, when we were talking about the slips, and we all got a report of how many slips we had in our area, after that, several of us met, and so we sent a letter to the governor and Secretary of Revenue Hardy requesting a 200% increase in the slip funding for our district, well, for all districts. And we asked for that to occur during the special session. I don't know if we'll get that, but we made a request.
Great.
And I have heard that they have $82 million additional dollars that they've got. But just wanted to let you know.
How many slips? So you remember it's 200 and some.
I had 15. They were
200 and some slips, I believe.
227 is the exact amount.
I thought, there's a lot, so thank you for
But
that.
we knew, they proved to us that day that the slip amount of money that what was it, B20, 30 and 31 or whatever it was. And we asked for that directly to go to the slip calculation. So I just wanted to let you know that we had done that after that meeting.
That is great, thank you. One thing that we have all been asking for, as far as the county commissioners go, and I believe the other representatives as well, is that we wanted to see a list, some way to communicate to the people what was being worked on and what has been completed. I believe, being very transparent and showing people, obviously they can see. But, in just basic conversation, when they first started doing work in the area, Tom, he was like, they're not doing anything in Mon County. He was just every day messaging me. He was angry, and I was like, calm down, I think they're going to be working. Well, when I leave my farm, where I live, if I go right, I'm in Preston County. That's, I'm coming towards Kingwood. If I turn left, my farm almost borders Monongalia County. So if I go left, I can be in Morgantown in 15 minutes. And I never went that way because I'm telling you, that road would swallow a Buick. It was terrible. I drive a truck. I had a rental car. Went out of there to take my kids to guitar lessons. And Carson's like, Mom, I don't think we can go any further. The car, I didn't think was going to make it, and I didn't realize the road had gotten that bad. So the other day, coming in from Morgantown very quickly, I thought, I'm going to shoot out that road and see if anything's happening. It's across summer school, clearing to McKinney Cave to the Preston County line was fixed. And I was like, praise Jesus. So I know that there are things happening, and I know you're all very thankful that what is going on. I think the huge question and what the caucus and our senators and delegates need to focus on is how we're going to maintain what they're fixing. And when can we get it all fixed? I think they owe it to us, a timeline of, facts that we can share and where the money's coming from. So with that, is there any other discussion about the individual county meetings? Senator Seipel?
Yeah, thank you. I attended the District 5 meeting over in Burlington. It was on Tuesday. And during that time, there was a breakdown of the different counties in that district. And I divided the number of dollars per county by the number of miles in each county. And then I happened to have with me the District 4 handout. So I did the same thing for the District 4. Of course, it only had 3 counties from District 4. And what I found was interesting. In District 4, of course, there's a disparity between the number of dollars spent or allocated per road mile. For instance, of the 3 counties in the 4th District, Taylor County was allotted $6,300 per mile. And Mon County was $5,100 per mile. And Preston was $4,600 per mile. As compared to some of the District 5 counties, the greatest being Grant, which was $8,600 per mile. Almost 2-to-1, not quite 2-to-1. And I was wondering if maybe we could find out from the Highways Department why there's such a disparity. We don't exactly know what that is, why that occurs. Now, I also received the information from District 7, which includes Barber County, another district in the 14th Senatorial District, but I haven't been able to glean the information out yet from the individual county. And maybe that's a good question to ask the highway officials, how does that work?
It'd be a very good question. That's a huge difference. That's a huge difference.
we now get an update daily of where the people are. And that is, I really want to give them credit, because that's something that we were asking for, and at least we can say, this is where the people are. So, I mean, that's a real positive. The one question I'd like to throw out to the legislators, and the same question I asked for the last 3.5 months, is what does it mean to have a road fixed? And that is the discrepancy that is a concern among the commissioners. As I said, I showed pictures of roads, and when I showed Route 7 and so it has to be fixed, I said, no, you just fixed that. That's what it looked like being fixed. So there's a question on what is paid, what is fixed, what is done, and I think there needs to be more clarification on that, because as they do this road and they say it's done, what you and I might think is done is different than what the DOH does or the legislature. So I think that's something, and I don't know how you come about that, but you need some clarification on that, and that's something that would be really helpful for the counties.
If you have not seen what these lists look like, they come through and they have every county in District 4 listed. And just as an example, today in Doddridge County, they pulled shoulders or ditches and they paved roadway. It said it gives the county route, and the name of the route is Wiseman's Run, and it tells where they start, and if it's at 0 and they go 1.24 miles or whatever it might be, they tell you what distance they worked, their start time, and their finish time. So this list is something that we are getting, the county commissioners are getting. And I believe if you were at that meeting and you provided your email, you might be getting it as well. If not, let us know, and I'll be happy to forward those on. Another list that I received, which I thought was very interesting, was a list for Preston County. And it had all the names of the roads, and it said that anything that was highlighted red, I think Tom has one for Mon County, anything that is highlighted red was completed. Well, because of what I've had myself doing for the past 2 years, I am lucky enough to know a lot of these roads in Preston County. And so, and I frequent a lot of them. So I was looking through the list, and to me, I think there might be some mistakes on ours that are highlighted red. Because there's not been, it's showing it's completed, and it's not been completed on some of the roads. So that's something that I will take up with our local DOH and say, hey, is this a mistake because it's not been done? I think that's the accountability that we need to have with our local people at our local DOHs, especially when it's a high problem area. So, let's see. Any more discussion from that meeting that we had on the 11th and 12th? All right, well, I had asked a couple individuals to speak tonight a little bit. I don't know about all of you, but when the governor vetoed the bills that were moving through, kind of felt like the wind got knocked out of our sails. You know, we have made roads our business day in and out, it seems like, trying to get everything handled and taken care of the best that we can. And, you know, there was a lot of good bills that were moving. And for them just to be vetoed without explanation or why or what they're going to do in place of vetoing the bill, I think is just not fair. It's not fair to the people of the state. So with that being said, I'm going to ask that Senator Smith come up. I'm going to give him about 10 minutes to talk a little bit about one of the bills that he had introduced. And I think that one thing that we need to be doing as a caucus and as the senators and delegates, we really need to focus on, you know, she talked about a special session, trying to get a special session, what we've got to do to get these bills reintroduced, because I think that's everybody's concern is how we're going to work moving forward.
Thank you, Samantha, and thanks for the opportunity to talk here tonight. Most of it, like I said, introduced myself. Senator Randy Smith, co-senator with Senator Slapole, and Senate Bill 522 was a bill that I worked on along with Delegate Summers. One of her House bills was we amended it into the Senate bill, and Senator Slapole had a maintenance bill in the Senate, and so it was a group effort. I mean, I kind of got the momentum for it, labeled Randy's Dream, but actually it was the people's dreams. And it was a good bill. It had a lot of accountability, a lot of transparency, and had a lot of mandates on it. It's not may do, it had shall do, and it was maintenance, and it set up a secondary roads fund. And when my bill started out, it had over $400 million of funding, which, that was more a wish list, I call it, because I knew there's no way they were going to put $400 million, even though $400 million won't even touch our road problem here in this state now. But next year, the first bill that I'll introduce is going to be, well, it won't be Senate Bill 522, but it'll be the exact same bill. It has some tweaks on it, probably for funding formula, put something in that. And one thing I'd like to see, I don't know how we can do it yet. I talked to the attorney today down there. Now, it was with our budget doesn't start till July the 1st is when our budget starts. And I'm told that a lot of these projects aren't being bid out until later in the year, like, May or June, before they bid the projects out. So if we can come up with an appropriation bill to get the state road their money before the budget takes effect, so they can't use that excuse where they can start bidding out jobs in January, February, and March. So when April the 1st gets here, then they're ready to go. Just like this year, it was the indecision before anything really happened. And I got a little upset. I got upset first when he vetoed my bill, but then I got upset when, we had to wait till basically April before anything really started to happen. So maybe putting in there where, change how the money is allocated to the Department of Highways to give them a head start. Because, like I said, I've been told a couple different times now that is the reason that they are kind of slow on a lot of the bidding contracts out, and that's why they start paying a lot of times in October, November, is because they're so late getting the bidding or the bids out. And so that's one thing. And another thing is, Andy spoke a little bit, money for slips, because, we've been told that that's where a lot of our general maintenance money is going. It's been taken out of general maintenance and going to fix these slides, and it's a huge problem clear across the state. So, even if we have to, take $30, $50 million out of rainy day or whatever, because I hate to tell you, I don't have to tell people here that the state roads are in a rainy day, and that would be some money. And, I started, I call it a road tour, but I don't know, for better or lack of words, going to different counties outside of Preston and Mon, because Preston and Mon is no doubt the worst in our district. Senator Slapel and I have 8 counties, and we have 4 highway districts in our 8 counties, and everybody has the worst roads. They talk to. I had a gentleman last fall call me from Mineral County, just throwing a fit. I went down, got with him, drove the road, and we were going across the road, and I'm waiting for it to get bad. And finally, he looked at me and said, "You feel that?" And I said, "What?" He said, "Feel how bumpy that is?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "When we get back, I'll show you some pictures." So we got back, and I showed him. He said, "My God, I thought we had bad roads." But to him, that was a bad road because they're used to good roads in that area. It was a road that we would have died for in Preston or Mon County. But to them, their roads are bad. So I'm kind of getting out there and kind of looking to see if it is if it's a statewide problem or if it's just, District 4. And, I've talked to a lot of Department of Highways employees from all across the region here in the last couple of weeks, and they're just tickled to death that they're finally getting to work. And, I made a comment last week. What aggravates me is we haven't given them any more money. They haven't got any more money. They haven't got any more manpower. But look at the extra work they're doing. And it should have been being done, and it's mismanagement, accountability. That's where accountability and mandates come in. And, I just talked about the road today, talking about, get with county officials and stuff. In Terrell, a couple of people called me today. They paved the road up there. It's a mile long. They call it Schaefer Street. You know, that goes from Greg's Pharmacy over to the Lower Pike, and it's 1 mile long exactly. They came in and paved the 6/10 of the mile that was the better part of the road. And you know, that was all that was contracted out, that 6/10 of the mile. And now the road from hell, that they call it, is still there. You know, stuff like that just to me seems kind of mismanaged, where you already have the equipment there, and they patched the other part. So it just, there's a lot of that. And District 4, you know, I've said it since I got elected. This is 7 years. I've said that District 4 is just, it's a huge problem. Like I said, we have 4 districts, and all our, not all our complaints, but 99% of our complaints come from District 4. And I was very vocal about that. In fact, I had Tom Smith, the prior secretary, didn't talk to me for 6 months because he took offense to it because I was attacking District 4. But it's the truth. You know, we got a new district manager there. He seems like the real deal. You know, we'll see. But you know, hopefully it'll get better. But you look at District 4 compared to these other districts. You know, I'm in Tucker County, and Tucker County, I mean, it's hard to find a bad road in Tucker County. And they're in District 8, and I've been begging for 7 years to put Preston County in District 8 with the snow bill, but that's not going to happen because they don't want us. And I don't blame them, and not at least until we get it fixed. So, you know, and to address, you know, I know we're your elected officials, but to be honest with you, and you can ask any of the delegates or senators here, because when I went down there, you know, I was gung-ho and thought the same thing. But we have very little control over what gets fixed, and you know what the governor has 100% control over. If there's any more money, I mean, you know, nobody yelled louder than I did this year. I mean, I was on the Senate floor almost every day, wasn't a day, you know, and calling the governor out, calling the highways out. I mean, just, you know, pleading her case. And Delegate Slateful on the other side was pretty vocal about it too. And then, you know, we had a good bill that passed out Senate 34-0, House 98-0. Goes to the governor, he vetoes it. You know, we don't have, there's nothing we can do about it. Until next year, if we can get it out early, we're being satiated when he vetoes it, we can override his veto. But, you know, the bill that came out had very little funding, but it had the accountability, the stuff that we need, because he could change it and do what he's doing. You look at a lot of things that the governor is ordering to do, and it's Senate Bill 522. I mean, he's doing, you know, a lot, you know, ditching, you know, required ditching and mowing and all that, and it's in 522, and he's doing it, but who's to say next year that they're doing, or the following year, you know. So where this bill mandated, you know, put a website there where you know, the auditor's office had to put where every penny was spent, and where, you know, which projects was being done, which ones was completed, and which ones was bidded out, which one was still bid. It had all the transparency. You could track every dollar that went into the Department of Highways. And why someone would veto that, I have no idea, other than it wasn't his idea and his little pride. I'm not going to veto it tonight. So, I've been pretty vocal all year, and I haven't really made up. So, and you know, like I said, appreciate everything the county commissioner's doing, because I know you guys get the same calls we do, and it's frustrating. You know, it's frustrating us elected officials. We can make a phone call, but we cannot make anybody do it. Sometimes if they like us, they might do a little something, but you know, it all, you know, I hate to say it, I'm not picking on the governor now. I don't want to be accused of still passionate. But it's up to him. He's the one who can make it happen. You know what I mean? The secretary of DOH, you know, or the DOT, he's not going to do anything unless the governor directs him to do it. So, you know, I'm tickled to death that we're getting some work done. It's too little, too late, but at least we're getting it done. You know, we're in a lot better shape this year than we was this time last year, and I'm glad we found it. If nothing else, we got some focus on the roads, and I think we got the momentum when we go back into session. You know, I believe we're all work together. We'll get you know, a couple good bills out there and get them introduced early. And you know, I'll be up on the floor squalling and hollering again. This year was kind of nice because last year, first 2 years, I sat in front of Senator Slate-Pole and he'd pull me down and tell me, settle down. I'm in the back row now. I got a little bit of trouble. I'm in the back row. And nobody can tell me to sit down, so I've enjoyed it. But thanks again for everything you guys have did. We're still going to carry the flame.
Thank you. All right, next, I would like Delegate Amy Summers to please come up. She's going to discuss a little bit about the bill that she had introduced and just talk a little bit about some ideas and things that she has going on.
Thank you, Samantha. Thank you, everybody. Samantha asked me just to talk about the bills that we had this year, and what I wanted to do was give everybody the knowledge on how to track this and follow this. If you go to wvlegislature.gov and you go to bill status, you can pick the subject. So you can go down to roads and transportation and you can see that the House and Senate introduced 40 bills pertaining to roads. And out from those, you can see what the status of them is. What committee did they go to? Did they sit there and die? Or did something happen to them? And you'll see veto messages, or you will also see effective from passage and what happened to that bill. 40 bills is a lot of bills from us, so we are trying our best, but as Senator Smith said, we can't make them do the work. But I do think that all of the bills caused a lot of attention to be brought to the issue. And, there is work being done, so you don't necessarily have to have a bill, but at least it brought focus to it, and I do think that the governor, it's the most work I've seen in the last 10 years, so I am pleased with that. We are also receiving the daily report that you talked about that's coming to all of our inboxes, and I'm appreciating that. In Taylor County, we have Ponytown, and some of the other counties have a prison population as well. Several years ago, when the correction officer pay was so low, they couldn't afford to send a supervisor out with that. So I'm going to follow up on that. That's one of the things I'm looking into, because that's an additional crew that can be utilized. So perhaps in your counties as well, Lon, you could check and see. Have you heard anything about that, Oracle, about Ponytown? Have you heard anything about Ponytown? Okay, all right. But that's something that I want to check into. We'll let you know about the funding. There won't be a special session for roads. We are having the education special. We are in special session right now. We're just on a recess. We will get some of the bills that were vetoed during the session for technical issues, and we'll also receive asking for certain appropriations. One of those will be for roads. We've been told that that will happen. Any questions you want to ask me? I brought all the bills. If you want to ask a question, we can certainly do this Senate Bill 522 version. The bills that I had, they were all bills that we talked about in January, that we as a group came up with. Senator Beach was like, let's write it, let's get them done. You guys carry the water, you got the power, and get it done. And so we did do that, but they got vetoed. So I think that's all I've got. But I wanted you to be able to see, to have the knowledge on how to see what goes on during session. Any topic you want to look up, you can. But this was as far as roads. Okay? Thank you.
All right, next I'm going to ask Delegate Williams to come forward and talk a little bit about a couple of things that he would like to discuss.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'm glad to see so many people here. My part in the battle in trying to fix our roads, my small part was in introducing House Bill 3044. Now, this was a bill that had been introduced before. It was first introduced by my friend Brian Kachaba, who used to represent Monongalia County. And after he left the legislature, Delegate Joe Statler, who was also with us, he took it up. And I introduced it this past session, and it was a bipartisan bill. I think everybody in this room today was a co-sponsor on it. And what it seeks to do is to require the DOH to use the funding formula that they recommend. It seems shocking almost that they wouldn't use the formula that they recommend, but that is the truth. We didn't know how long it had been since they had used that formula until one day in February, Delegate Hanson, Piles, and Walker found out in the House Committee on Government Organization that it hadn't been utilized since 2004. That, to me, really stressed the importance for House Bill 3044. I was in shock that it had been 15 years. And thankfully, the bipartisan spirit of the history of who's introduced the bill, as well as the co-sponsors that we had, that was bipartisan as well. That same spirit continued. The bill passed the House 97-3, and then it went to the Senate, where it passed 34-0. And then, as we all know, it went to the governor, and it was vetoed, which I was very disappointed about. His veto message said that the reason that it was vetoed is because he doesn't like the idea of tying everything, restricting it to a formula, when perhaps there's an anomaly in a county, there's just a ridiculous amount of slides that year. We don't want to be constrained by that formula. The problem with that reasoning, however, though, is that the bill very cleverly has it so that it's on a 5-year period in which the formula must be applied. So you could have a circumstance of anomaly, let's say in Preston County, and Preston County gets more money in year 1, so long as it's made up on the back end by year 5. And so it is equitable, and that's simply something that perhaps we need to illustrate to the governor the next time it comes through. I'm happy to say that within about 5 minutes of learning of the veto, after I stomped on the floor and said balderdash, as my mother used to tell me to do when I was frustrated. It might not have been balderdash, might have been a little stronger than that. I was in contact with Delegate Jeff Pack, who's the vice chair of the House Committee on Government Organization, and he said that he would run this bill earlier in the sessions. Senator Smith indicated it'd be good to get these bills ran earlier so that we can override the governor's veto. And Senator Seipel, you had mentioned the difference in the road mileage cost between Grant County and then the ones in District 4. And I think this issue right here is the seminal reason as to why that exists. So that the DOH thinks that they are being equitable by awarding 1% across the board increases, when in actuality they are being anything but equitable. Different counties have different needs, and I'd like to see a reflection of that. So I will be reintroducing the bill here in the next legislative session, and I look forward to having more bipartisan sponsorship and maybe a bipartisan signature at the end of the process. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate Williams. All right, with that being said, is there any other senators or delegates in the room or even county commissioners that would like to speak? Mr. Hanson, come on up.
I wanted to follow up on the formula that Delegate Williams was talking about, and whether it's been used in an equitable way. And one of the things that we did as a North Central West Virginia Legislative Road Caucus was write a letter that I think everybody in this room signed, asking for certain information from the DOH about the formula, and specifically about the values of the variables that are used in that formula. And the goal of that was to finally have enough information to calculate what each district should receive if the DOH were to actually use the formula that they haven't used for the last 15 years. And that information request was not fulfilled during the session, but after the session, when I went down to my office at the Capitol, I did find an envelope sitting there. And that provided enough information for me to run those numbers, which I did, and we released that information just a few days ago to the press. And what I found in District 4 was that we were being shortchanged by about $7.5 million a year. In other words, the amount that's being allocated to this district is about $7.5 million less than we should be allocated if the formula were being used. And that's the biggest shortfall of any of the DOH districts in the entire state. So there are many reasons why our roads aren't being maintained. This is one reason, is that we have more needs because we have greater vehicle traffic, greater truck traffic, and more of a thriving and growing economy than other parts of the state. And the formula, even though it's imperfect in its current form, it does reflect that. But it's not being used. So some districts are getting millions of dollars more than they should. Some are getting millions of dollars less, and we're getting by far the most below what we should be getting.
Thank you, Mr. Hanson. All right, moving forward, is there anyone else? Come on up. My name is Barbara Miss-Fleischer, and I want to talk about two other bills that didn't get as much traction that we may want to give more thought to next year. They also were bipartisan. Buck, I think you sponsored both of them, and Terry, and we also had Danny. They came out of our delegation, which is kind of large, so all five of us are on the bills. But the first one is 2491, and that is a salary increase bill, because what Donnie Williams told us is that it was really, really hard to recruit people. And so we got the idea from the salary increase that we gave correctional employees a couple years ago. They were writing us email after email saying how dangerous it was. They were working double shifts, and that secretaries and counselors were acting as guards. And so what we did for corrections, which was really a crisis, was we increased their salary for $2,000 a year for 3 years. And in Mon County, and in all of our counties, both the city employees, and we have also WVU, and we have federal employees as well, who are all making way more, and they're and the school board. All of those people that require CDLs are making way more than highways. So most people are gravitating toward the higher paying jobs. So I asked Don Williams, I said, what do you think about this idea, what we did with corrections? We were able to get that through. What about what would we need to be competitive? And he said he ran the numbers for us, and that was $3,000 a year. That for our district, that if you did that for 3 years, that would be a $9,000 pay increase, and that he would be able to recruit and retain employees. So that bill didn't get traction, but if this group might be interested in helping us push that bill, I don't know why we are having less of a crisis in roads than we were in corrections. It really was a crisis, and it may even still be a crisis, because they had the federal correctional facilities that were, and also correctional facilities in other states. So I think that one deserves more thought. Another bill relates to joint paving maintenance contracts. And one of the things that this bill might be more of a transition to contracting out, in the sense that if we pass a bill that says everything has to be contracted out, and you think about that, that's a pretty big precipice. And you have a lot of your fellow people that live in your county that maybe their jobs might be a little threatened. But this would say that if each county, this was a pilot project only for District 4, each county could choose 4 road projects where there would be a 7-year contract where they would repave the road and also be responsible for the maintenance. And the thinking is, they would do a good job on the paving if they were also responsible for the maintenance. And that would be all the maintenance, the ditching and the mowing, or it could be part of it. It might not include snow removal. That would be something that would be up to negotiation. And that wasn't my idea either. This was Donnie Williams' idea. He said that they actually had the authority to do that now. But if we mandated it, we would be able to see, is that working better than maybe other paving contracts? That's assuming we get paving secondary roads. But anyway, I hope that all of you would consider those 2 bills as well, and they could be put into a larger bill as well, but we would appreciate support for those ideas. And thank you all for coming this evening. Thank you, Barbara, and I do apologize for not responding to your email when it came through. I seem to get a lot of those these days, and it just fell through the crack. All right, is there any other thought? Is there any other delegates that would like to speak here tonight before we move on?
I'd just like to say I was up at District 8, and to go to District 8 and listen to them, it is such a difference. When they talk about the bad roads, a pothole on a road someplace lies bad. I tried to get them to take in Preston County, and they laughed. But they did send their crew down, and it's even from Tucker County, they sent the crew down to help Edge. That went on their ticket, not on Preston County. And the crew that's on 92, that's from Canal.
Yes.
And they put in 3 culverts across the road a day, a 6 or 7 man crew, a day. They cut it, they dig it, they drop it, they pour it, and they put the plates down a day. We haven't seen anything like that in years. We haven't seen many culverts replaced anywhere in the county. And they've put from Route 50 to Newburgh 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 10 culverts in the last week and a half. Across the road. And getting in, and another thing that they told us at that meeting we had, they are getting some more equipment. Kanawha County came up here with a paddle, what do you call it? It's a paddle. Anyways, it picks up the ditches. Yeah, whenever they plow out the ditches, man, they took on a side road that was a mile long at 3:30 in the afternoon and started on one side, and I thought, they'll never make it to the end. They not only made it to the end, they came back the other way and they put it 5. And the road was clear. That's how fast they ditched. And they cleaned out each culvert as they went through there. I mean, there's a big difference in the crews and the equipment. Although they did say that the state was getting a lot of new equipment to help out, they also said that Darby Clayton, he said that they were going to move people around because they could see that some managers weren't doing their job as well as it should be, and they were going to get things straightened up. You can see a big difference in the different crews. And so there's a lot of good things maybe is happening because of all of you guys going together.
One thing that I have noticed, because I've been out almost every single day, I ask a lot of questions, and Tom had brought to my attention about all the equipment that came to Preston County from out of the state. How would the rest of the state be able to function without their equipment? And so I asked that question, and the answer that I got from the state officials down at the DOH was that those pieces of equipment were not pulled and brought here to stay here. When the initiative happened for Preston County, when they came here, the crews really hadn't started, and so the equipment that was brought here was equipment that was not being used because they didn't have the manpower to utilize it all. So that equipment was trucked in to get things started here when they started their ditching efforts and such. But like I said, the folks that were here, they're not all here anymore. There's a select few that can drive. There are still a couple crews in the county working in addition to our workers. And they are doing a good job, because I will tell you, the job that they're doing, whether it be top notch or not, is far better than what we have seen in years in the county. And in the surrounding counties, I've been in a lot of the counties, and for Marion County, I have a friend of mine, she sent me a message and she said, I'm just so thankful for what is starting to happen here in Preston County. She said, I drove over to Marion County the other day and those roads are terrible. So, there is a lot of bad roads. If you came in on Route 7 from Morgantown here, that stretch of road isn't that bad. But if I have made roads my business, like I am on it every day. I am out in the field on these roads. I have made it, everything I do and breathe. And I will tell you that I've started to notice problem areas that are going to happen on Route 7, where the road is starting to break away. And those are things that I feel like if we can get stacked up, that'll keep things. If you go on this road past this facility and keep going, you're going to come into Rollsburg. We've been down to one lane where they had filled in the ditch on the opposite side of the road, and we have a stoplight there that we truck kids where the road is just collapsed. And that's a FEMA thing. And so we're waiting on funding, and they've started doing core samples. I think it's little things like that, and I think you all would agree that communication with our county and state officials, if we could just bridge that gap. So with that being said, one thing that I wanted to throw out is that stack of papers that we're getting, that's a little overwhelming. To see all the list of the roads that nothing's being done on at this time. So something that I want to implement, and if I do, I'll be happy to forward it on to each individual county, is a list that we can say, this is what's being done, this is what is completed, this is what's getting ready to happen in the county. So we know, so we can publish that in the paper or on social media sites and things so that the people can see what's happening. Because as someone else stated, you know, everyone's like, you think your road's bad, come to my road. We only see the pothole in front of our mailbox, right? Or the potholes that is from our direct route of travel from our home to our place of work a lot of the time. So that's something that to bridge that gap in communication and just continue with what's going on and, you know, helping our delegates and our senators to find us solutions, because I think that's what everybody's wanting in the end is a long-term solution, because it does no good to ditch a road if they're not going to come back for another 20 years. It's going to continue to be, you know, as bad as we've got now. So is there any other discussion?
I know time's limited, and one of the things that I'd like to ask the delegates and the senators, Samantha and I are, you know, we started with an idea and everyone's bought into it, but we got to this point today. I guess our question is, where do we go from here? Because we don't know what we can do and what can we do with you, because I like the idea when I hear the word pilot project, because I think that is a chance of passing the legislative plan. That's my question to you all. We've got to this point, you know, we're on them as much as we can, and probably more than we should sometimes, I'll say. But what do we now need from you, or what can we do? Because we have to stick together. I like the bipartisan. People don't want bipartisan in the rest of the state, but we need it here. What do we do? I mean, that's my question to you all. We're at a point now. What do we now want to do, and how do we want to take this direction? And that's what we were talking about. And I'll be quiet. We don't know. What would you like to go?
Well, I think we've all discussed a lot of the issues that the Department of Highways is facing, and the new budget isn't starting until July. I think that we do have to give them a chance to utilize the monies that have been sent their way. And at the meeting I attended, equipment is an enormous problem. And as I gave a great example of what happens when you give them a decent piece of equipment, and they're sharing equipment between like 8 counties. And so that's just, every county should have the equipment that they need to get the work done in a reasonable amount of time. So that's something that's going to take a little bit of time for them to get back, but they also need the staff to run them. So we just, they know what the problems are. And regarding the staffing and the scheduling that you all were just talking about, being able to tell people when they're coming, they said that they frequently have to, if one person calls off, they're so short-staffed that will completely upset the schedule. They may be planning on that until this person calls off that morning. So they can't give you an exact, they're going to be here on Monday, because they don't know if somebody's going to call off. But I do know that they are very aware of the problems, and I think, you know, we are also aware of the problems. I think we need to have the money dispersed and allow them to kind of get up and running. But I think they made a good show of faith to really get going with what they could do with the ditching and whatnot.
Sean?
I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, we have gotten their attention. When we spoke with Bert White when he came to meet with the commission a couple of weeks ago, I mean, he'd been on the job for 3 weeks. He had no experience in this, but he comes from our perspective. He comes from being a commissioner. So I do believe that he's going to try to do a good job, and we've got to give him a little bit of leeway to do that. It doesn't help when we're throwing rocks at them when they're trying to help us. So there's got to be a balancing act. We need to hold their feet to the fire, but we also have to give them a chance to see, okay, so what does this do? Administration and transportation, what will they do? And when will they do it? I do think the communication is great. Behind every problem, I guarantee you, if you have a problem, you go find some level of breakdown in communication. And we've had none, and we're increasing that. And I think that's important for us to meet with our local, our county, to meet with our county supervisor, to get Darby when we can, to see where we're going and keep progress on these projects. And see where we'll go. I mean, we have to give them a little bit of leeway.
Right, and like I said, when he's here, lots of things happen.
And you mentioned experience. I mean, talk about Bird
Right,
White. If you don't give him a chance, how's he ever going to, have a chance to do that?
One thing I wanted to bring out is the current staff in District 8, their quota is 340. They have 330. That makes a huge difference. And they said they don't have the problem of retention like we do in this area because they're all paid, I think, across the state the same. And that's a good thing. Their conversations there also is they do preservation of the paving. They put on a sealer. This sealer they've done, and they put it on 10 years ago. The road is still holding up very well. And it's a lot cheaper than repaving. They're doing a lot of different things. They're bridges. I remember after they said that they used a lot of cement tension beams, and these tension beams are absorbing water. So the water goes down in the cables and it's rusting. So they're losing ability to hold their weight. So now they're going through and they're sealing these. They're doing a lot of experimental stuff for their sealing, and they're doing a lot of things. But the reason they can do all this, I feel a big part, is because of their manpower. And not only is it manpower, the manpower has been there for years. They can operate. They know how to operate. They know what they're doing. And another thing, they give up on trying to get older operators, older people to work for them experience. They're going out to the schools and offering a career as a state employee. We've got this, we've got that. Hey, we'll train you. You don't need to know anything. Come with us. We'll train you. You're going to be a laborer for a few years, but we're going to move you up. And that might be something that our district needs to look into, going around, seeing to some of the high schools and saying, would you like to, be, and maybe this might be your career. And if we can get the wages up a little bit, it wouldn't be a bad job because it's there, it'll be there as long as you want to work.
And I think too, along the lines of what Buck is saying, is that, with these CT programs, we've put so much emphasis in the last 10 to 20 years on a college education, and although that is very, very important, you have to have laborers in everything that we do. You have to have a laborer in everything that we do. You have to have a truck driver. You have to have something to start. These are the grassroots, so to speak, of who we are. We have to be able to have those people. Those people are just as important as the doctors when it comes to the full circle, working everything together. So I think that would be a great thing for the delegates and the senators to look at, is how we could interject some different things into our educational system to start training those that at a younger level, when they're getting ready to graduate high school, and they're not going to go on to these other colleges and things. I think that would help with issues like this, the hiring. Yes.
In education this year that's asked that has to do with that.
Good.
That was one that was called training paid also with knowledge and equipment operators.
Yes, thank you, Samantha. Just two quick things I'd like to comment on. First of all, it was brought up about the issue of equipment. It was related to me from a highway worker that some of the equipment that was brought into the counties actually came from the training centers. So it actually wasn't in use in a daily manner. Now, my concern is that if they're trying to build a workforce and they don't have equipment to train on, how are they going to build a workforce? So it's really a multifaceted problem. They're almost exacerbating the problem by removing the opportunity for training and advancing people to equipment operators. But that wasn't the most important thing I wanted to talk about. Back in January meeting, which was just prior to the legislative session, I made a report on a request for a resolution from this organization to support bringing trucks off of the 2-lane highways onto the 4-lane interstates. And it seemed like there was support across the whole room, and I thought that it would be included in the resolution. However, when I received the resolution, it wasn't part of it. And furthermore, I didn't even see that my remarks made it to the minutes of the meeting. I don't think it was even recognized. But to give you a quick follow-up on that, we did in fact attempt to pass a concurrent resolution, which would have been supported by both the House and the Senate. We were unsuccessful in that. However, on the last day of session, the Senate did pass a simple resolution, which was basically asking our congressional delegation to provide an exemption for West Virginia to allow the trucks, which are now on the 2-lane state and U.S. highways, to go onto the interstate highways for the purpose of hauling, to get that traffic congestion off of the smaller roads where people have bus stops and where people commute, that sort of thing. It has been sent to the congressional delegation by mail. However, I do intend on going to Capitol Hill sometime in the next couple of weeks and hand delivering and speaking to each of our congressmen about that and impressing upon them the importance, because I know that the commissioners from Monongalia County will appreciate that. They've had an issue with trucks through the middle of Morgantown. They should relieve some of that pressure. And we've had trouble with routes 73 and 19 and so on and so forth. So, just to let you know that we did follow up on that, and we would like to, going forward, if the caucus would find it in their best interest to include that in any future resolutions, we would greatly appreciate it.
If you could write the resolution and get it to Samantha, we will pass it out to the commissioners to request the county.
We have the resolution already.
The House will pass it now.
They will?
Yeah, there was only one person that held it up, and we'll go around that person.
Yeah, if you could send it to us again, we will make sure to get that.
Held up, or we would have got it passed in that house.
We will get that to you.
There was only the one guy I couldn't get.
Well.
Okay.
I couldn't get him to change. I got the others changed.
Well. Is there anyone else?
Ran out of time.
I just want to say real quick, for the last 4 or 5 years or whatever, there's been a few of us in Mon and Preston County where the roads are bad, and really part of the roads, we never got any traction, never got any attention in the press, never got any attention, with the other senators and delegates. But with everybody coming together like they did this year, county commissioners, delegates, senators, and the press, we owe a lot to the press because they brought a lot of attention to this, and it's got the whole state involved. So all of a sudden, it's not a Preston County or Mon County problem, it's a state problem, and all the delegates and all the senators are hearing from their constituents, and it's become an issue for the whole state. So I think that's what's good that came out of this, is because we made it a statewide issue instead of just a local issue. And I think, the last 3 years, our state has focused on new infrastructure, expanding highway, the Quarter H, Cape Coal Highway, bridges, and they just forgot about the secondary roads, which everybody deals with, and everything, like this bill will affect one group, this bill will affect another group, but this here affects the whole state. Everybody can relate to it. There's not a person in this state that roads doesn't affect. So I think that's where, we keep on going forward, carrying the torch, keeping it out there, and I think we'll finally get something done, because all of a sudden it's not a local issue, it's a statewide issue. And I think that's the difference in what's happened in the past.
Ms. Walker?
Yes. So Tom presented a question to each and every one of the legislators earlier, and that was, what does a mixed road look like? That's not my expertise, but I know what cooperation is like, and I know that we are all solid in saying that we are all working together. So maybe our next We're asking the questions that need to be asked, but maybe we need a lesson. So it's a time to talk and it's a time to listen. So we're going to listen to them and they're going to educate us on what exactly a fixed road is. And so that is my response to you, Tom. We all need to ask them for a meeting where they can teach us exactly what a fixed road is. Thank you.
One last comment?
I think there's a sort of an elephant in every room, and that's that it's going to take more money. I have to really say that Brian and Amy have worked really hard on trying to get, and everybody, accountability and transparency, and are so frustrated. I know of a young man from Preston who's applied for a job 3 times and never has gotten a call back, and he is not on drugs. I mean, so there are these basic things where it's not working with DOH, but we've had these enormous problems with slips in our county, and that's a very, very expensive fix. We really need to increase the pay, and that's going to cost money, and it's going to have to come from somewhere. And I do think it is a crisis. I think, you put your money where your mouth is, and that is one of the things that we're going to have to say is this is a crisis, and they're horrible that we can't move forward as a state unless we invest in our roads and invest in maintaining them. Like you said, it just doesn't do any good to do the ditching and do the paving. So I just think that we need to be saying this is very, like, what government does. Roads are one of the things that government does, and they aren't free. And we think that, we can get by with less taxes and government's in the way. Well, if we're not performing one of our most basic functions, we're going to be held accountable, and we're the ones that decide how the money's going to be used. So we need your help, because that's not an easy ask. But anyway, I just think that's
Well, that leads us, thank you. That leads us into the last couple things that we need to deal with before we dismiss, and then we can have a conversation with discussion of having quarterly meetings with the DOH as we did on April 11th and 12th. I think it's very important and crucial to moving forward. I don't think that these meetings just need to happen now because we're in a crisis on the roads, but I think we have to hold that level of accountability really high and continue quarterly meetings with the DOH so that we can get back to where we need to be. So is everyone here kind of in favor of me suggesting to Darby that we hold that with the counties the way they did, break it up? Okay. And then a discussion on future meetings for this District 4 caucus. This started over a year ago when Preston County declared their state of emergency. Then the other commissioners got on board and we developed this roads caucus prior to me. And I think that Tom and I have been working, there is power in numbers, we've been working well together, and I personally think it would be beneficial to continue this, and we would like the support of our delegates and our senators to do so, and make that a quarterly meeting as well. Is everybody kind of in favor of that? So with that being said, I'd already reached out, Doddridge County will host the next caucus meeting for this caucus, and that would be in July, towards the end of July is when that would be. And we don't have a date set yet, but they're part of the district as well, and I think it's important that we get outside of our bubbles and break loose and see what we've got going on all over District 4. So as soon as I have that information, I will send it to you as soon as that date is set for that. Now, before we adjourn this meeting, I'm goal-oriented, so I will not lie to you when I say everything I've accomplished in my life is stuck on a goal poster. So I need to know what we need to be working on. When we come back, I want to see progress. I don't like to have meetings and waste people's time just to have a meeting. So with that being said, what are some of the things that we need to focus on as the caucus before we get together again in July? Amy?
I personally think we should wait for 6 months and not come back in July because it's going to be in the middle of summer when all this stuff's going on. I'm going to be on vacation in July.
Okay.
And we will have had the session, probably May, I would guess, or June, where we see if we get this additional funding that we can report back to you that's come, that went, into the budget. We'll be able to tell you that. But I just think we need to monitor the progress of what's going on all summer. So I don't think we're going to have any goals that we're going to meet between now and July, actually. So I don't want to waste people's time.
Well, I do agree with you on many levels of that. I think on the county commission level, we might get together, just to see, what we've got going on, what needs to happen. Because I look at the county commissioners as being on the ground.
We do too, yeah.
And so, and you guys are our voice in Charleston. You're the one that's down there, slaying the dragons and bringing the things that need to happen. You make it happen. And so, I'm going to suggest that maybe the commissioners meet maybe sometime within the next quarter, and then we'll come together as the District 4 caucus with the senators and delegates in 6 months, if that's fine.
Yeah, October, then we could also be looking ahead at the session.
For January.
What are the bills that we're going to lay out? We're going to try to do this for the veto override. Summarize what's happened all summer, where do we still need to see failures, that kind of thing.
And I think too, one thing that I do know is that come July 1, we're going to see a lot of pavement flying new fiscal year. You've got to keep that in mind. There's going to be a lot more happening when that rolls over from June 30th. So you'll see a lot of more progress, I believe. And then also another thing, when Tom and I were meeting, we all think that subbing this out to contractors is a fix, and I believe that is a pretty good fix. However, I challenged Tom to find out how many contractors we have in District 4 that can do the state jobs. Does anyone in the room know?
2, 3.
5. We have 5 in District 4. So, that's a lot of road miles for 5 contractors to cover. So I think working with the DOH and trying to overcome the hiring issues that we have and the funding issues, I think also that the contractors, I think everyone combining both is going to be what we have to do to solve the problems. Because, there's so many roads and so many issues.
Yeah, thank you. I just point out the provision in Senate Bill 522 was that if 70% of the core maintenance program was not completed, the portion which was not completed had to be contracted out. So that may have only been 2 or 3%, 5%, 7%. That provided an incentive for the state to get the job done. And if they were unable to get the job done for whatever reason, then they gave a chance to catch up the following year. So it wasn't a matter of wholesale contracting. It was a provision for the counties which had the most trouble keeping up to contract part of that out.
Okay.
And whoever came up, my colleague that came up with that idea of trying to get that appropriations of funds early and contract that is a great idea, because that's one of the problems we're having. Like we said, Ed said we had like 8 roads that haven't been bid out yet. Wouldn't it be nice if you had the appropriation so when the season began, you could start moving? That's a real problem, and that maybe you could help us. I think that's a great.
Yeah, I think we can take.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. You can put other money.
And then pay it back.
Yeah, you can have some money and just put it in. I think that's a great idea. At our meeting yesterday with Darby, we had something, I think, for 6 or 7 May for all the contractors for permits to apply for that down in Charles. I think it's 6 or 7.
Of May?
To get
Okay,
some
great.
different.
Well, I think one thing that we can do to keep communication up across the board is if you in your area hear wind or know some hardcore facts of things that are happening and coming, we all have each other's emails, just shoot those emails so that we can kind of keep each other in the loop. I will submit the forms once I get it created for the county sheet that will show, and we can post it. I'll make it so that it can be shared to whoever wants to see it. I think that will bridge a gap pretty well. Is there any other discussion? Anybody else have anything? Okay, well, one thing that I do want to share with you when you go, I'm a firm believer you have to have an opening and a close anytime you do anything. And in light of everything that's been happening, I know down in Mon County, and Appalachians was making pothole cupcakes. That hit the media. It was pretty comical. And although we're trying to make light and find humor in this situation, this is a very serious situation. I think you would agree that the roads do not care whether you are Republican or Democrat or independent. It doesn't matter. We all travel the same roads, and so I think united, we will come together, and this is going to be a great thing moving forward, and we're going to see definitely some resolutions here. But anyway, as most of you know, I do substitute school bus drive, and so I'm out. Maybe some of you are up, maybe some of you are in bed, but I always listen to the local radio station. It's a lot of news and things early in the morning. But I just would like to share this, and we'll go ahead and do it. But, you know, with everything, I do appreciate all of you coming out tonight, and I want to just thank all of you and our county commission here locally. They kind of given me the ball to roll with this roads caucus, and I think that we're making progress. So thank you all for coming, and I look forward to resolution.
Whether you're mud bogging, working the fields, or just cruising, the Tire Lady has just the right tire for you. And if you want your ride to really stand out, ask about tire and wheel combinations. Get the most out of your vehicle with the perfect set of shoes from the Tire Lady at Rainbow Tire, and the Tire Lady will take care of you.
Rainbow Tire, the Tire Lady takes care of me. Rainbow Tire, the Tire Lady takes care.
From a simple switch, troubleshooting a problem, a new service, to that backup generator that you'll need in times of emergency, Blake Electric can handle all your electrical needs. They have the experience and knowledge to do it professionally and safely, and do the job right the first time.
It's wild, it's wonderful, it's home. From the peaceful sights to the adventurous rivers, we want to protect our great state. But most importantly, we want to protect our people. When someone from our community gets injured in an accident, big insurance companies out of state look at you as a number. At Cranston and Edwards, we fight for you, getting you the settlement you deserve. Cranston and Edwards, we protect you.